All right, what is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another video, man. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the notion of Indian men and South Asian guys finishing last. Why does it appear that South Asian guys always finish last? Now, growing up, I always thought this was the case. You never really saw the South Asian guy be the main character. Never really saw, watching TV, too many characters in America, especially being influential, being South Asian, right? You never saw too many interracial couples, interracial dating where it was a South Asian guy and a woman of like another race. South Asians always tended to be the backup or side kind of character. And regardless of all of that, when it comes to dating, I believe that it always is going to come down to three main things, regardless of whatever race you're in: status, your social skills, and your looks. Now, if you're somebody who's South Asian and are struggling with dating, you need to ask yourself, realistically, have you truly maxed out on all three of those aspects? Your status, your social skills, and your looks. I know a lot of you black pillars out there, they're gonna laugh and think that social skills are bullshit. And the classic black pillar, oh bro, it's just your looks, man. Nothing else matters. Look, to a certain degree, if you want to have one night stands and live the playboy lifestyle your entire life, then sure, yeah, you can coast by with just your looks. But as a 30-year-old man who's had over a decade of consistent dating experience, has had multiple girlfriends, been in multiple relationships, social skills do matter. I'm not saying now you gotta be the most socially adept guy in the world. You won't be able to lock down and be in a meaningful relationship if you don't have at least above average social skills. You need to have at least one step above average when it comes to your social skills. I'm not saying you gotta be super extroverted. I'm not saying it's over for you if you're introverted. I'm an introvert, but when it comes to actually conversating with these women, you need to have some degree of social skills. Now, is it going to be easier if you are extremely good looking or above average looking compared to the average looking guy or the below average looking guy? Yes. However, at the same time, if you are somebody who wants a meaningful relationship, a long-lasting relationship with a woman, you're going to have some degree of social skills that's at least a step above average. You can't just coast by with your looks. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't care about having this meaningful relationship, who just wants to coast by on the playboy lifestyle, somebody who just, doesn't care about being in a relationship, wants to just constantly be in hookup culture and chase women, then yeah, okay. If you're a decently looking dude, you don't need to have the best amount of social skills. But if you're somebody who wants a meaningful relationship that lasts a while, you're going to have at least some degree of social skills, at least one step above the average man. Now, continuing on, right, with the other part of this. So status, and I know a lot of you guys who might come from a more red pill background are probably going to be, what about money, bro? And look, money kind of just falls into that status, right? Let's kick out, the celebrities and the super famous people out of this, right? They have a level of status beyond this normal real world type of shit, okay? And even them, you can group it into the status part. If you are somebody with superior status and clout, right? Like these celebrities, then yeah, you can literally get away with not having the best social skills or not being the best looking dude in the world because you have that status. You've made a name for yourself, a respectable name for yourself to a certain degree of respect that a lot of women are going to look up to. And when you have made that name for yourself, right? Think about some of these guys, right? LeBron James or Tom Brady or, some of these super famous dudes out there, right? Who've really made a name for themselves. Even guys like, Justin Bieber, right? Or a guy like Pete Davidson or whoever, right? Doesn't even have to be the most best looking dude in the world. If you have a huge degree of status, it'll oversee the other two factors. But when it comes to, your normal guy, right, who's not a celebrity, even then, status will be displayed through your job. So really, again, money plays into all of that, right, depending on what type of job you have. And in addition, if you're the guy who's selling, newspapers at your coffee shop or working at Target his entire life, right, you're going to have to move up in status through your job. You're going to have to make strides in your career. Every single woman you talk to wants a guy who's on a path upward, wants a guy who has some type of upward trajectory to get to where he wants to be. And now when you take a look at the status and the social skills, let's break down, the whole looks factor. Do you have to be, the best looking guy in the world to have a successful relationship? No, you don't, okay? But you have to ask yourself, have you maximized your looks? Are you dressing well when you're going on dates? How's your hygiene? How's your grooming? How's your body? How's your physique? Have you maximized those things? Are you hitting the gym hard? Are you dressing well? So really when it comes down to dating, those three things with your status and your looks and your social skills, those are the basic pillars. Have you maximized them? Are you working towards maximizing them? You need to ask yourself these questions before you start bombarding yourself, putting yourself down, saying things like, oh, the reason I'm not getting women is because I'm Indian. Oh, Indian guys, brown guys, South Asians, we finished last. Ask yourself, truly, have you done your best in all those three areas in life, man? Because a lot of Indian guys, a lot of South Asian guys that I talk to, they have not yet gone up in those three categories and are not actively working on going up in those three categories. So you really need to start asking yourself that, man. The one thing that you need to be cognizant of if you're a minority, especially a South Asian guy, Indian guy, is you're going to have something called niche appeal. And I say this all the time in a lot of my other videos. A lot of it as a minority, especially as a South Asian guy, has to do with your niche appeal, the type of woman that you are attracting. So a lot of areas in the world revolve around Eurocentric standards, white European standards, right? You go to a lot of these countries in Europe, you go to a lot of these states in America, majority of them are going to revolve around these Eurocentric standards. So really analyze the area, man, that you're in before you start saying things like, brown guys, it's over for brown guys, we finished last. Look and analyze the area that you're in. How diverse is the area that you're in? If you're in Alabama, right, or South Dakota, or some crazy state down south, right, with not a lot of diversity, obviously you're not going to have that great of a niche appeal, especially as an Indian guy. So for me, I went to a high school that was majority white, right? So the niche appeal for Indian guys wasn't going to be as great as it was going to be for somebody with European background. If you're somebody who's living in America, who's living in one of these rural or white suburbs like down south, it's going to be harder as a minority to date. You need to move to a more diverse area, a more diverse city in the US, As somebody who's a minority, South Asian guy, what do you think you're going to have the most success in? A city like LA or New York that's more diverse, right? or a city in like Alabama, or some random town in like South Dakota, or some random place in Alabama, right? What do you think you're gonna have more success in? It's going to be in the area that's more diverse, that's not as Eurocentric standard based. Again, it's not necessarily that brown guys finish last. It has to do with a lot of criteria. Your niche appeal. Where in the world do you currently live in? What's the diversity like? What are the majority of people like? Is it a very Eurocentric standard place, or is it more of a diverse place with many other different cultures blending in? You go and you travel to, the Middle East, and you go and travel to the Southeast Asian countries, right? If you're an Indian guy who's really groomed himself, taking care of himself, man, you're going to have not that difficult of a time attracting women of your own race, or attracting women of Middle Eastern race, or even attracting women in other countries, right? And I'm not saying you necessarily got to go be a passport, bro. That's a story for another day. But even if you go, to South America, or you go to, Asia or the Middle East or South Asia, you're going to find that when you go to more culturally inclined places, your niche appeal as a South Asian guy is just going to rise and rise, as opposed to those more white Eurocentric standard areas. Obviously, those three foundations, ask yourself, are you truly maximizing in those areas of your looks, right? Your grooming, your hygiene, your physique, your social skills. Do you have a level of social skills where you can actually communicate with the girl? Can you bring that emotional connection to the girl? Do you live that interesting lifestyle that the girl finds intriguing? Can you carry on a basic conversation back and forth and then take it to the next level where you're getting her emotionally connected? Can you flirt with her? How's your social skills like? And then look at yourself from a status perspective. Are you somebody who's ambitious, has goals, has a good job, someone who has a cool career that can move up, that women can really look up to? Or are you some type of bum who's working the drive-thru at McDonald's? So really, have you maximized in all those three areas, in addition to the appeal, the niche appeal? And what area specifically in the world are you currently living at, man? And that'll really give you the best bang for your buck. Are you somebody who's finishing last because you're Indian? Or is it because there are all these other external factors that you haven't looked into and maximized? Anyways, guys, that is it for today's video. Like, comment, subscribe, drop a comment below. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you all in the next video. And I'm out.